And UBAers, welcome to our second episode in our bird series we are working on
today we're going to visit David Blashill's farm, and he does more of the pheasants and other types of game birds. He's got a little bit of waterfowl, but it's primarily the game birds, so it's going to be interesting to see how that differs. In aviculture, there's different management styles, so the difference between keeping waterfowl differs greatly from how you would keep game birds. So
what's aviculture?
So aviculture is the keeping of birds.
Oh, okay.
So avian.
Yeah.
Aviculture.
Well, Mr. Lybeck has promised me that I will get to see some very beautiful birds and that I will be surprised what kind of birds are there. So
that's true.
We're very excited, and once again we have another long drive ahead of us, but I hear it'll be worth it. So
it's definitely worth it.
we will
for a treat.
We will let you know when we get there.
On our own with our hope in the clouds, and we're starting to see that we're onto something. Feel it coming, we'll keep running, nothing in our way, and we got no reason to wait. Let the journey take you where it wants to. We'll continue to find our way through anything we face. We got what it takes.
These are saddleback Pomeranian geese.
Here we go. All we need is an open road.
Hi, my name is David Blashill. I've been raising game birds since I was a teenager. I'll be going on 45 years now. Interrupted briefly by a career in the Navy. But I've always, even when I was in the Navy, I've always tried to, like, when I was home, raise a few quail just because they were small, convenient, didn't need much room. But I have an acre of birds now, 6 kind of pheasants, 6 kind of quail, a couple kinds of partridge, half a dozen different kinds of ducks and geese. But this is one of the first buildings I built, and that's why the chain link just basically comes up to this building. But these all have panels that hinge down, like this one's down. So I could have, like, you know.
So you could make it bigger or smaller.
Yeah, I could have 4 pairs in here, and then when they've done mating, I can make it to a big open one. And then this is where, once the young ones are out of the brooder, they go in here. And then I have these wires that will, like, initially I slide up here, so they're stuck here. They can't get away from the heat.
And then as they get older,
then I'll pull this one, and then I got another place down here where I can slide this other one in here, and I use this as the head. You know, someone wants to slide it. This monstrosity here actually fits between here and here. I'm just going to move. I'm telling you, lazy. Lazy. If I got to move the whole flock to here, so then I block them off here and just chase them down. They go right like a little gerbil.
Yeah.
And usually I only got to net like 1 or 2 stubborn ones. These are the majority of these are the valley quail breeders I'm going to keep on wire and just collect eggs. But I have a lot of customers that want valley quail. I had the people pour the concrete with the last half is sloped down, and that 2x12 on the end, you can see the little sloping last on the bottom down there. That actually folds up.
Oh, so you could just hose it out.
I got a poop scraper and a hose here. Washed it all down, and I built that clean out thing planning to be able to use my tractor to scoop it up, make it quick and easy. Well, what I didn't realize was I also had to make a level spot for my bucket. When I pulled up there at the angle, my bucket was like, I didn't have one of them fancy. So I'm like, well, I'm not going to pour, 12 more feet of tractor parking area. So I said, well, at least. Like spring is in the air. I got my old person handy grabs here, so I can fish the lettuce end down the pond just to cut down on the biological stuff that's building. Panels that I can actually drop so they don't have access to that water, so I can put medicated water in there.
Oh, that's perfect.
And then I don't know, but I was always told you can't give waterfowl the medicated
feed.
Well,
I
you
heard
can.
that because I heard like in recent, like the last couple of years, they made that it's just a rumor.
Yeah, so I've been buying the Purina chick starter medicated, and last year I didn't lose any ducklings other than over here. I'm expecting her to lay any day. He's been doing a lot of calling, so I know he's in the mood, but in there, but she's always just laid in the corner, so I didn't put like any little, you know what I mean?
Like hideouts and
yeah,
things.
for her to, and it's not like the male's ever like, she's just sat in the corner. The male never like came over there and bothered her the whole time. I did build this so in the summertime I can
You
leave
could just have it like an open,
yeah, I put
air it out.
flashing up here so that the door wouldn't get saturated from being open, and then I can just stick that. But if you stick your face in there, you can feel it's a little, even today it's a little bit warmer in there than it is. This is the cheer pair. They're a high desert species. Nepal, Himalayas up 10,000 foot level. So they don't do well on any kind of moisture, real susceptible to worms and stuff. So they're on this product called Hoof Grid, which people use out front of like horse stables and stuff, because horses just destroy, just really kill the grass and pack mud. And it's, I don't know, there's a place where I can, it allows me to have all this gravel in here, and also see the pattern, kind of like a corrugated thing. It's like 4 inches deep. So you expand this stuff out and put it in, and then you put this gravel on, and then run the compactor over, which, since then they've dug it all up. But they're like kind of like the models, the implements.
Oh, okay.
For just dig, and the eared pheasants, dig. So they actually they'd be able to get down to where they're not supposed to be if I didn't have this. As it is now, they can dig, you can see where they're digging around the rocks, but they can't make a big hole. The biggest hole they can make is like this.
Which is perfect.
And by the time they get, when it's that small, by the time they've moved all that gravel, what's that called? The ankle hose or whatever, where the gravel.
It just fills itself.
Yeah, it basically goes back in. Not all the way. It does still get rain in there, but it's so dry that it sucks it up.
Well, you can tell
there's
because it looks like it's like the dust is kind of settled on things.
Gives me the ability to bring my truck in here and keep this one closed, so I can close that one. Yeah, it's security. I forget what the zoo calls them.
Do they call them catch-alls?
Yeah, I got the same thing on the walkthrough there, where I just don't close that door because now with my 2-year-old walking around opening everything now, I have to start closing the inside doors. But it also gives me the ability. This is just another pen, like in. The male Mongolian is really belligerent, so when the females first come out with babies, I'll throw him in here, and that piece of plywood folds down on top of that horseshoe or that sawhorse there. So they got a protected area. You can see where I got a chain there to hang the feeder. See, lazy. This will probably be the first time.
I don't know. I would call that smart.
Well, the problem with this pen being on wires is too deep for me to get in there. This is the tricky part. It works good for picking up, that's what I have it here for, is picking up the eggs in these. Anytime you got on wire, if it's not a big enough cage where I can go in there and walk, you got to be able to reach. Same, that's why I have these ropes here, this string here, these branches. You pull them out from there, and then you tie another one on, and you pull it all the way across and pull it through and wrap the extra around there. These are just extra Copernicus quail that are basically waiting for the wife to say we need something to eat. And this is where I keep raise the young Copernicus quail once they're out of the brooder. And there's a lamp back here. That's why it's got the.
Oh, and you just plug it in. And
yeah, plug it in. It's got a heat lamp there. I'm encouraging that behavior. Not with the Mongolians. He's hiding behind the fir tree now. But, you know what I mean? It's just they hang out together. It's like they have a need to flock or something.
Yeah, and it just, you're lonely, I'm lonely. We'll just...
Yeah. But the Hungarians normally following these two quail around. He's just more flighty than they are. So. So this is another one of the cages where I can make it into one cage or 3 cages. There's metal panels that fold down. Valley quail that'll go in here with the silvers here in another month or so, and then that'll just leave the pair of blue scale quail in there to.
Do they ever escape or?
Sometimes. And that's why it's nice to have that double. I can close that inside door and kind of funnel them around.
But they don't like get through like the chain links. If you put them in here, they won't.
Yeah, they can. The bobwhites, the valley and the bobwhites will get through this. The male valley, which I mean, he's like 8 years old. Before I let him out, I'll clip one wing.
Oh.
And normally by the time I catch him back, they've already got full flight again. Like he would go up through the top and then go over here and sleep in these fir trees and then come back in the morning. This is his territory. He lives here, so he doesn't have no inclination to
leave or anything.
But he just apparently wanted to sleep out there, so he'd sleep out there. They fly straight through the netting, doesn't even slow them down. So this pen is in the process of being replanted. You can see this is all blackberries here, which some of it will come back, and that was blackberries there. We got evergreen huckleberries planted. We plant a lot of fruit trees in here.
So they have something to eat.
Well, that and so the deer can't eat them. So we have something to eat too. Yeah. But it provides, at some point these trees will, maybe they'll roost in this peach tree here when it's 10, 12 feet tall, and then they love the blackberries, the native blackberries.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, these pheasants. Silvers are normally pugnacious. He's pretty cool. They're usually over here underfoot when it's just me by myself. And they're 4 or 5 years old too. The male Reed's is 4 or 5. He's got a young female in there with him, but I lost the female. He's a butthead though. He wants to jump me as soon as I can clear the gate. The neighbors, he's the driver, like, oh, that one pheasant sure is friendly. I'm like, he's not being friendly. Basically, he's meeting you.
He wants to kill you.
He's meeting you at the end of his leash, and daring you to come any closer. Female Reed's down there too. She's taking the hide. Those branches are just in there until this stuff grows up again. They feel comfortable. I built these nice, I call them bus stops for them, so they could roost out of the weather, trying to hatch prey, young birds and eggs, which they would love to eat, and I'm sure do eat whenever they can get a hold of them. So the more hiding places I can build for the quail and partridge and pheasants, the better off. All apple and Asian pear trees along here. There's a persimmon tree there. My favorite bird is probably the Mongolian pheasants, just because that's the first pheasants I ever had. The sentimental value more than anything. They're a little bit bigger than a ringneck, look similar to a ringneck, a little bit darker, more maroon, less greenish, bluish. but still a very pretty bird. My favorite waterfowl is probably like the cinnamon teal. I really like the red cinnamon, for lack of a better word, coloring of the male. And they kind of look like miniature shovelers because they've got a really big beak on them for their size. Bill, whatever the correct terminology is.
Here we go. All we need is an open road and a chance to see a never-ending world that's beautiful. Here we go with the sunlight on our skin. It's a brand new day. It's ours to take and we will let it in. This is where the adventure begins.
So I don't know about you, but I was in absolute heaven looking at all the different birds and species.
It is so amazing the facilities these people have set up for their birds and the knowledge they have about,
and just the different ways of automating and making things easier on yourself. Because
he called it lazy, I call it genius.
it's working smarter, not harder, and I'm all here for it. And I'm definitely going to take a couple of those ideas and maybe implement them in my facilities.
I think maybe Mr. Lybeck should make an episode about his little bird sanctuary at Decatur High School.
It might be coming.
Well, we're glad you enjoyed the tour, and we hope you will tune in next time. Mr. Lybeck has some more bird-based surprises for our little bird series. So
it's going to be awesome.
Until next time.